In this video, Laura and I are going to spoiler talk Cars 3. If you want to check out our live spoiler-free review that we did fresh coming out of the theater, you can click that little link right there, and you can check out the spoiler-free review. Right now, we are going to spoiler talk Cars 3. Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And we are going to spoiler talk Cars 3. We got to see it the other night, and I think we both had a really good time with it overall. I think we gave it pretty good grades, and now that a day or two has passed, we're going to see how that kind of just marinated.
Yes.
Like a good chicken. And see, you know, what flavor we come up with here. That was a terrible analogy. It was that bad, huh?
Woo! Allergy season.
I think one of the things that personally I enjoyed most about it was, number one, it kind of jumped over Cars 2 altogether. So,
yes.
like, if you haven't even seen Cars 2, I don't think it matters. Like, if all you've seen in the franchise is Cars 1, you could go see Cars 3, and this one pretty much picks up where Cars 1 left off, carries on with the same theme, same joke, same everything, without any reference to Cars 2. It's kind of fascinating how they just forgot about that one.
Yeah, the only thing is there's some character enhancements in the second movie, but it's not needed at all. It's just, you learn more, like Mater's just great, and he's not in this movie enough.
You know what I'd do?
What?
I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I think that would be one negative. Like, Mater is in this movie. Whatever scenes he's in are great, but yeah, it's like his role is smaller, and then you know, Lightning McQueen and Sally, like, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, okay, like, they had this whole love story in the first movie. Are they married now? Are they engaged?
I don't know,
dating?
and they say that they love each other at one scene when he's on his way out for a race, but, like, you barely see her in this movie at all.
Yeah, so, like, some of those characters that you really liked and you got to meet in Cars 1 when he comes to Radiator Springs, they're still in this movie, but their roles are smaller.
Yeah.
And whenever they're on, it's like, the classic characters, but then it's like they're not on enough. And so, I don't know. Of course, this is two adults giving that review for a movie that is made for kids.
Indeed.
So speaking of a movie that is made for kids, the main plot of this movie is Lightning McQueen is too old. And it's interesting because the younger generation of racers is coming up, like their newer cars, their newer technologies.
They have better, you know,
traction, steering.
Yeah, and they have different training that they're...
better training and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, Lightning McQueen can do the same training as them. It's just his engine isn't made the same as theirs.
Exactly. And so, like, basically, this is the typical old man who is really good at what he does, but a new generation is coming up plot that, through different ways, is seemingly able to do it better, and the old are being pushed out while the new are taking over.
Yes.
Interesting plot for a film for children.
Yes, it is. And it's sad because, you know, there's on the outside, there's the respect for the people who are good, but then they say jerky comments to him like, get out, retire, do this, and it's kind of unfortunate because, you know, there wasn't really the respect for the people who paved the way for their generation.
Yes.
Which is what Lightning McQueen was like in the beginning of the first movie.
And I'm glad you said that, because that is the exact next point I was going to go back to. Like, that was one of the interesting things about Cars 1, where Cars 3 brought this full circle. Mm-hmm. Where Cars 1 was, you had Lightning McQueen, who is the rookie. And, you know, he's this champion rookie, and then there's this three-way tie. He's got to break the tie, and through a series of unfortunate events, great show, he finds himself in Radiator Springs, where he gets humbled, and he meets the fabulous Hudson Hornet, and basically begins to learn what it means to be a real racer. And then this movie, we completely do that same formula, but reverse it. And, you know, whereas we didn't see Hudson Hornet get kind of pushed out of racing, this time we actually get to see Lightning McQueen's wreck. We get to see...
Which was better in the trailer than it was in the movie.
And you know what? It was. Like, the way the trailer kind of hyped up his wreck, it was like this huge thing. And in the movie, it was just this passing moment that was kind of a plot point.
Which we all knew was coming because of the trailer. But
yeah. And maybe that's why it was less impressive, because we saw the trailer so much and it was so hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, trying to bear in mind, this is rated G and for kids. This is adults looking at this movie for kids. So, anyway. But I just thought that was an interesting plot because you had Cruz Ramirez, who is just a trainer of the young racers, but she blew her chance to become a racer. And she blew it out of fear.
Out of fear, yeah.
Yeah, so she had an opening, she had an opportunity, she showed up, and she said to herself, I can't do it. So she psyched herself out, and she left.
Yes.
And so this whole thing is about Lightning McQueen learning to see her as a racer, and especially as he's training to take on the young generation. She's training with him when they meet Smokey, the guy who trained Hudson the Hornet.
The reason that Lightning McQueen goes to Smokey's town is because he sees it on a map and he's like, I need to go there because if I need to think of something new, who better to train me than the person who trained my trainer? So it's sad because, again, we don't know why Doc passed and he didn't. Because he's obviously probably older than him, but he gets there, and what's really cool is there's all these legends there with him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and so he has 2 days to prepare, but they have fun basically training him in different ways than anything else. And so his trainer Cruz is there with him, and she doesn't see how it works, but she was his nemesis Storm. They even painted Storm on her so that this way,
so she could play the nemesis and get his
that would be
fire going.
Get him going and go after. But you could tell she was learning how to race better. She always loved racing. She trains, but there was something more that she learned because there's something different about riding in the dirt than in a in a simulator.
Yeah.
And something she had never seen before, and she was learning as well.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny when she was training Lightning McQueen, and they went outside. She's like, what? Training outside?
Yeah.
What? Which was, a total knock on millennials. But
yeah, I know. It totally was.
It's like, what? Training outside in real sand on real pavement?
I know,
what?
and then
she had a remark in her race where she's like, this is nothing like the simulator.
Yes. Right early on in the race.
Yes.
And then the scene where they go out into the sand for the first time, training on a road.
She keeps digging herself in.
It was just funny. She'd get stuck in the mud. She would get this. She would be in the ocean.
On you go! Whoa!
Huh? The beach ate me.
It was just...
And then Lightning McQueen is the one training her.
Yeah.
So that she could train him and keep track of his speed, which
Yeah.
was actually pretty hilarious. And the first part that made this movie kind of predictable. Because especially when he was meeting, when Lightning McQueen was meeting the legends, they were talking about how Hudson Hornet's happiest times wasn't when he was racing, but it was when he found Lightning McQueen and he was training Lightning McQueen, and he was his
mentor.
Yeah, his mentor and his
coach.
chief and the little change tire area. Gosh, I'm so bad at that stuff. Anyway, so right there, it's getting kind of predictable. It's like, oh, okay. I think Cruz is going to start picking up on this racing stuff, and Lightning McQueen's going to step aside.
It was even before that when she won, and she yelled that she always wanted to be a racer after she won the demolition derby that they accidentally entered thinking it was a real race. That was a funny sequence too. But she was just so excited because she had never won anything, and right then I'm like, she's going away defeated and upset, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna race, not Lightning McQueen. That I'm like, right then and there, and I'm like, it might have been earlier than that, but it was so telegraphed.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, but I don't think the kids got it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, you gotta, again, filter it through, this is a movie made for kids. They're not gonna care. And even though it was predictable, I didn't care that much. I think, what was it, Lightning McQueen did the first couple laps?
Yeah, so Lightning McQueen started because he was, he went to the training even though he had a feeling he was going to lose because Cruz still beat him while they were training. And so he went and it was a bunch of laps, but then there was a blowout and somebody else crashed, so they had to stop and you had to follow the pace card. So he went in for a pit stop, and instead of getting his tires changed, he told his characters to take care of Cruz.
Yep.
His characters, his friends,
yeah,
to take care of Cruz. And then the guy who spray paints, he's like, hey, can you do it? And so they do this elaborate 95 on her because nowhere in the bylaws does it say the person who starts has to finish. It's just the number.
Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting little loophole. But you know what? I believed it, and I had fun with it. And then when Cruz Ramirez was raging. when Cruz Ramirez was racing and Lightning McQueen was coaching, it was actually really, really cool. And it was funny because, you know, it was just when he was coaching, it was all the callbacks to the jokes earlier in the movie, making fun of her, but at the same time, giving her that encouragement to, you know, do what she needs to do to win. And, like, it was really cool. And then, you know, of course, she wins the race.
So then she's, like, drafting behind him and annoying the snot out of Storm. And they're, like, really close. They're in the final lap, but she's just having a good time. And so then he slows down and slams her against the wall. And so earlier in the show, you see this move that Doc Hudson did, the new move, where he popped his tires up on the wall and then flipped over the car and took off. And so she did exactly that and took off and won the race.
I liked her face when she landed, like, whoa!
She's like, I did it!
And then won the,
I can't believe that worked!
So that was really cool. But, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was very interesting that was the plot. That was the plot, that Lightning McQueen is now older. They had all the senior citizen jokes.
Retired
that
him.
was probably like,
I call you my senior project.
Well, they didn't retire him. He decided to become her chief.
yes, that was the whole thing. Like, Doc Hudson was forced out of the race, but Lightning McQueen wasn't going to be forced out. He was going to make the choice when he was done. So he did a few laps and made the choice that now he wants to be a coach.
Yes.
So, I don't know, like, I thought it was really good. I loved the overall story, and I had a lot of fun. I do wish we had a little more Mater. I wish, since Sally was such a huge component of the first Cars.
I would have liked to see more of what happened with that, but really, in the end of it all,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, that's just us who've seen the movies, you know, and I guess probably the older generation wanting to see what happened, whereas not a kid in the world would recognize that or realize that.
Yes.
Unless maybe they're like 12 or 13 and they grew up on it.
I think Cars 3 was definitely made for the people that grew up with the Cars franchise, which is awesome, and it's still made in such a way that the kids coming in to see it, because all the kids in our theater had a great time with it.
Yeah, they were laughing, even though there were some jokes where I felt like only the adults were laughing.
Yeah.
Not dirty at all. It was like one of them about college. I can't even remember what it was, but it was just so adult.
And it was so good, it left an impression.
Yeah, but I can't remember the jokes at all. But adults, you won't be bored. I mean, I was captivated the entire time.
I was too.
I didn't have a time where I'm like, oh my gosh, how much longer is there in this movie? It was just really, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. So the other night when we did it live, I think I gave it an A-. And now that it's kind of settled and marinated a little bit, I think I'm going to land on a B+. Because,
Ooh.
well, it's just, as I think about it, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more Sally. I would like to have seen a little bit more Mater. I would like to have seen a little bit more of those other characters.
Even though not necessary
to the plot or the story.
That's just for fan service.
Yes, I guess that's just for whatever. Point is, it's like, it was a really good story. I really did enjoy it. But I'm going to give it a B+.
That's kind of where I was before, is it's like, well, I'm giving it an A- as I leave the movie, but even in my spoiler free, I'm like, I knew I was going to land on a B+. And so I'll stick with the B+ that I gave it then. I had a good time. I don't necessarily need to own it when it comes out, but I have nephews and nieces that absolutely love the Cars and Planes movies, so I know I will be seeing it again.
Oh, we will be seeing it plenty more, because my nephews and nieces are sure to love Cars 3.
Yes, we'll probably be seeing it again in the theater with them,
yes,
actually.
That is actually a very real possibility.
I don't hate that idea.
Yes. So, if you saw Cars 3, what were your thoughts on it? Be sure to let us know in the comments while you're there. Hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. And next to the subscribe button is the bell. Click the bell. That way you're notified the moment I drop new videos. And I got a video coming out this afternoon, 3 p.m. Pacific. If it's already out, you can check the link. If it's not already out, well, it's coming soon. Where basically I'm doing a theological analysis on the first Transformers movie. More than meets the eye. No reaction. Okay, anyway, so I thought that was cool, and that's coming out later today. Lots of great videos coming out, so I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thank you for checking out Durbania.